I'm 26 now, and I'm I'm getting more interested in jazz, to tell you the truth. Uh, I can't even listen to the radio anymore. You know, I like old blues cats and early rock and roll and some other things, but frankly, I find most of it really boring.
At first flash of Eden, we raced down to the sea. Standing there on freedom shore, waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun. Can't you feel it now that spring has come? That it's time to live in the scattered sun. Waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun, waiting, 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 waiting for you to come along. Waiting for you to hear my song. Waiting for you to come along. Waiting for you to tell me what went wrong. This is the strangest life I've ever known. Can't you feel it now that spring has come? That it's time to live in the scattered sun. Waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun.
When you're in the recording studio, are you aware that you're doing a hit single at any point?
No, we joke around about it a lot, but actually, we just do an album, and then every time we make a choice for a single, it usually turns out wrong. It's usually and so what we're going to do on this one is just put out the album, and let the public decide which one they like the best, and then we'll release that as a single.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like the most realistic way to do it.
How about in the recording studio? How do you work out what you're going to do?
Usually we rehearse a couple weeks, a month or until we have a considerable amount of material, and then we go in and do it. We don't. Well, on this new album, it's really strange. It went really quick. We went in and we got like a song a day, which is kind of unusual. It was funny. The first album that we did in about 10 days. And then each succeeding album took longer and longer till the last one took about 9 months to do. And this one, we went in and we got a song a day. It was amazing. Partly because we went back to the original instrumentation, just the four of us and a bass player.
Why'd you decide to go that way?
I don't know.
But the Doors never were a real blues band as such, though.
No, but we could have been. We did play gigs where all we'd play is blues.
You said when you got together that this unusual situation of four guys all in sync pretty much. When did it start to get out of sync? Was it almost immediately? Or?
We were not out of sync. We were in sync, really.
Yeah.
But there was a balance that was always there, It wasn't as though it was out of sync. It was just that it was just a question of how far out he would go, and the further out he'd go, the more we'd just have to bend the other way and keep it all together.
Keep your eyes on the road, your hand upon the wheel. Keep your eyes on the road, your hand upon the wheel. Yeah, we're going to the roadhouse, gonna have a good time. Yeah, back at the roadhouse, I got some bungalows. Yeah, back at the roadhouse, I got some bungalows. And that's for the people who like to go down slow. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll all night long. Do it, Rodney, do it. You gotta roll, roll, roll. You gotta thrill my soul. Alright. Roll, 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 roll. I feel my soul. I gotta beep a ganja chucha. Honk, honk, honk. A ganja. Beach, a kuna nature. Bapa lula licha. Bapa licha. East on Kong. Yeah, right. Ashen lady, ashen lady, give up your vows, give up your vows. Save our city, save our city.
Do you see yourself as very sort of violent, bent, self-destructive?
Well, not in my more sober moments, I don't. But, I think everyone has that urge for self-destruction. It's like your first piece of ass.
I don't see that.
Don't you remember? You hear everything about it. Everyone's talking about it all the time. And so you kind of have this itch to try it, see what all the talk's about, right? I think everyone possesses that to a slight degree.
About self-destruction?
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe you're projecting you. You really think that?
Yep.
Have you ever been into drugs heavy at all, or never?
No, not really. As I say, I'm not much of a doper. I've always been more of a kind of a alcoholic type person.
Hey everybody, welcome to part 5 of my Doors album deep dive series. Today I am going to be talking about their 5th studio album, Morrison Hotel. This was released on February 9th, 1970. Sessions for the album began in November of 1969, and they actually were accomplished pretty quickly. After the negative reaction to the overly brass and jazz R&B influenced soft parade, the Doors decided they were going to go back to their blues rock roots and produced one of their most satisfying albums as a result. Now, a lot of bands were kind of returning back to basics. The Rolling Stones had obviously had some success with their Beggar's Banquet and their Let It Bleed album. And so the Doors decided to dispense with all the bullshit and just get back to what they did best, which is recording balls to the wall, straight ahead blues rock songs. This is the cassette version of the album that I have. And this is the remastered CD version. Now, side 1 of the album is called Hard Rock Cafe, and side 2 of the album is Morrison Hotel. Not sure why they made that distinction. Maybe they were just being a little bit clever. So the fallout from the Miami fiasco of March of 1969 was that the Doors became the band that America loved to hate. They had 35 tour dates that were canceled as a result. Their music was banned from a number of radio stations. They had difficulty finding work in 1969. As John Densmore said, they lost at least $1 million worth of work because of Jim Morrison's antics at the Miami concert. And he was still not out of trouble legally because of that. So it was a dire time for the Doors. Their backs were up against the wall. Critics hated them. The public was turning against them. Even their own fans were questioning whether or not the Doors were the cool band that they thought they were. And sometimes the greatest albums are born out of exactly that kind of adversity. And this album definitely shows the Doors were not dead. The Doors were still creatively a force to be reckoned with. And so let's talk about this incredible album. It happens to be my second favorite Doors album of all time. It's just amazing. I know there are people who consider this their favorite album, and I certainly would not disagree with you. So it starts off with Roadhouse Blues. I mean, what am I going to say about Roadhouse Blues? Roadhouse Blues is the perfect album opener. It's got a driving rhythm. The Doors are firing on all cylinders. Holy shit. Has Robbie Krieger ever played a more menacing slide blues guitar? The Doors are just shredding this song. And I know it's been overplayed, but still, if you listen to it with fresh ears, it is an incredible, incredible song. The second song on side 2 is Waiting for the Sun. This was the title track from their third album. I don't know why this song was left off of that album. I don't know if they had to do some overdubbing or whatever they had to do, but this song I love. and it sounds out of place on this album because this album is more a grittier return to roots, and this has kind of a psychedelic flavor to it, but I still love the shimmering keyboard work on it. I love the gritty guitar work from Robbie Krieger. I love Jim Morrison's vocal. This is one of my favorite Doors tracks. I'm not going to lie, I love this song. Track 3 opens up with some very cool attack piano from Ray Manzarek. Great heavy drumming from John Densmore. It's a very cool boogie rocker from the Doors. I adore this song, and it's really that attack piano that makes it for me.
I really want you, really do. Really need you, baby. God knows I do. 'Cause I'm not really not without you. Oh, what can I do? You make me real. You make me feel like lovers feel. You make me throw away mistaken misery. Make me feel love, make me free. I really want you, really do. Really need you, baby. Really do. Well, I'm not really not without you. Oh, what can I do? You make me real. Only you and I have that appeal. So let me lie in New York and as long as you see. Make me feel love, make me free. You make me real, alright. You make me feel like a lover's feel. You make me throw away mistaken misery. Make me feel love, make me free, make me free. You make me.
Jim Morrison is just annihilating the vocal. I love this song. And then we get into the acid rocker Peace Frog with that incredible groove. I love this song. After some of the garbage we got on the Soft Parade album, and I'm sorry if I'm being a little harsh on that album, but if you compare Soft Parade to this album, holy crap. A song like Peace Frog, it's just ridiculous how great this song is.
Dead blood in the streets, it's up to my ankles. Feet blood in the streets, it's up to my knees. Feet blood in the streets, the town of Chicago. Ghost crowd the young child's fragile eggshell mind. Blood in the streets in the town of New Haven. Blood stains the roofs and the palm trees of Venice. Blood in my love in the terrible summer. Bloody red sun of fantastic LA. Blood screens the brain and chop off the fingers. Blood will be born in the birth of a nation. Blood is the rose of mysterious union. Dead blood in the streets, it's up to my ankles. Blood in the streets, it's up to my knee. Blood in the streets, the town of Chicago. Blood on the rise is following me.
Robbie Krieger's guitar, Ray Manzarek's organ, Jim Morrison's incredible lyrics. Everything about this song is just amazing. And then I love the fact that it segues right into Blue Sunday, which is one of the more romantic songs that Jim Morrison ever wrote. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. One of my favorite Doors ballads. It was a song written for Jim Morrison's girlfriend, Pamela Corson's.
I found my own true love was on a blue Sunday. She looked at me and told me I was the only one in the world. Now I have found my girl. My girl awaits for me in tender time. My girl is mine. She is the world. She is my girl.
But it is absolutely gorgeous. And then to close out side two, we have Ship of Fools. This kind of reminds me of Alabama song off the first Doors album. This is a song, if any song on here would have fit at home on the first Doors album, I feel like this one has that mood, that feel. It's still gritty, don't get me wrong, but it's got a little bit of a retro Doors feel to it. But I do enjoy Ship of Fools quite a bit. Side two opens up with, I guess it's kind of like a shuffle beat or whatever, the Land Ho. Interesting song. Not one of my favorites on the album, but I appreciate it in the context of the album. Then we get into The Spy, which you basically have a very stripped down arrangement. I love Robbie Krieger's guitar, Ray Manzarek's saloon style piano, Jim Morrison's crooning vocals.
I'm a spy in the house of love. I know the dream that you're dreaming of. I know the word that you long to hear. I know your deepest secret fear.
It's a very cool, mellow, melancholy, bluesy song from The Doors that is fantastic. Track 3 on side 2 is Queen of the Highway, a very cool up-tempo, funky rocker from The Doors. I like this one a lot. I think it's a electric organ, clavinet, something that Ray Manzarek's playing. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to lie, but the whole vibe of this song, I love.
She was a princess, queen of the highway. Sign in the road said, take us to Madrid. No one could save her, save the blind tiger. He was a monster, black dressed in leather. She was a princess, queen of the highway.
One of the best deep Doors tracks. Then we have another Jim Morrison ballad, a very soft ballad. This is one of those where less is more. It's a hypnotic track. Another one that would have fit right at home on the first two Doors albums.
I love you the best, better than all the rest. I love you the better than all the rest that I meet in the summer, in the end summer.
It sets such a mood. It's a soft and tender Jim Morrison vocal. I love the jazzy guitar work from Robbie Krieger. A very cool song. And then the driving, this Maggie McGill, the last track on here, points the way forward to their next album. It is a gritty, dirty, filthy blues rocker. Jim Morrison sounds like he's never sounded before. He's got that hoarseness to his voice, that abrasiveness to his voice, which I love. And the Doors are having so much fun with this track. I love it. It's a fantastic way to close out a great, great album.
Miss Maggie McGill, she lived on a hill. Her daddy got drunk and left in the will. So she went down to Tansy Town. People down there really like to get it on. Now if you're sad and you're feeling blue, go out and buy a brand new pair of shoes and you go down to Tansy Town. 'Cause people down there really like to get it on. Get it on. Hey.
So anyway, that's my take on Morrison Hotel. Let me know what you think. Hope you're enjoying these episodes, and take care.